Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be looking at the 12th Commitments of Traders report of 2021. And as we always do, we shall start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. But before I start the review, for those of you who are new to COT analysis, then check out our website, COTBase.com, where we offer a lot of educational material explaining to you what the report is all about, some examples on how to analyze the report. We also have some very useful tutorial videos that you can watch. Back to the review, and starting off with our first market, Palladium, with a 28% change in commercials positions. You can see that change size on the chart over there. And if you compare that to the past 52 weeks, it's definitely a very, very significant change, much greater than average amongst the largest, I should say, 5 changes in the past 1 year. It is a bearish COT change signal, suggesting we may see a bit of a decline coming early next week. Moving on to a 5-year chart, you can examine the extreme situation, which is actually still more bullish than bearish. So one might think that at such price levels we should be expecting a bearish extreme, but that's not the case. So Palladium is very, very strong. Moving on to Mexican peso, we have a 15% change over there in commercials positions on the 1-year chart. You can see it over there. Of course, this is coming after last week's huge change in the market. And we are expecting a shift. We may see some weakening in the next few days. Now, if you move on to the 5-year chart, you can see that we are at a bullish COT extreme level. So that's something you should keep in mind. In the medium to long term, we should expect this market to further strengthen. Even though we have that slight bearish COT change signal, I would definitely put more emphasis on the extreme. That's something I like much better personally. The market has been going higher. We had that bullish extreme situation last year, a year ago. And even though the market headed higher, we did not see traders shift their positions. So one might, expect, if you've been analyzing these markets, what usually happens when a shift happens in the trend, you see we had a bearish COT extreme for quite some time, just before we had that drop in the market. As that happened and we reached a bottom, suddenly we reached a bullish COT extreme situation. Now, as the market is headed higher, one might expect traders to go back to their bearish extreme. That's not happening. So for me, that signals strength in the Mexican peso. Okay, the next market is the wheat market, the Kansas City wheat to be specific. Of course, we've got multiple wheat markets. Here we have a 13% change in commercials positions. You can see that on the chart over there. It is larger than average, but it's a great example. I mean, last week we had a similar size change, but nothing happened. So it maybe supports my thesis that these change signals don't necessarily push the market higher. Of course, we can find plenty of examples on the opposite. So these sudden larger than average change size do affect the market in the short term. I'd like to emphasize that, but not always. And we have to examine the change in traders' positions together with the extreme. What do we see in the extreme? We see a bearish COT extreme that we had a couple weeks ago, just at that top. As the market is headed lower, we are moving away. And now we understand that these larger than average changes don't necessarily affect the market because we have been in a bearish zone. So that signal took its effect. The market is, I wouldn't say collapsing, but there's a definite weakening due to that extreme. And as it's happening, we are not surprised to see a bit larger changes. So, I think it's a great example how you should combine the two signals. Moving on to large speculator COT Extreme and continuing with the Japanese yen. Here we have a 55 report extreme in large speculators. We are, of course, getting closer and closer to bullish COT extreme levels. Now, this 5 years chart shows us that we could reach even greater extremes. So that's something you should take into consideration. Even though we are talking about a bullish extreme, one should be patient and wait before acting right away. Nevertheless, it's a nice picture. All of our traders, commercials, becoming more and more long. Large speculators are net short. Small speculators heavily short compared to what we've seen the past couple of years. So everything is kind of bullish for Japanese yen right now. Oats will be the next market. We have a 42 report extreme, not a huge number, so I wouldn't expect anything big out of it. Actually, nothing really. It's always good to open the charts because you can see the value represented on the chart, so it's a more visually more easier to understand that way. So, and I don't want to talk too much into it. So this is, I should say, a great example when you have to decide to just move on. Not much to see. Okay, what will be the next market? Let's open the euro. Okay, let's open euro. That would be the next one. 41 report extreme in large speculators. We always go back and try to find the last major extreme. It was this bearish one. We did see the market go a bit higher, but traders are decreasing their net positions, so the stress level is coming down. And now I would not be surprised to see a shift back towards higher prices in the euro, and as that happens, we would see the continuation of the bearish extreme strengthening. We'll see what happens. But that's that for this review. Of course, you can look at other markets. I only show you a few market categories. You can look at the newest COT report types. You can look at other data types, futures only if you want, or the options only data type. We're looking at the futures and options combined. You can analyze any data set that you want to. You can, of course, go deeper into your COT analysis by using our tools, the COT change analysis tools, the extreme analysis tools. For example, the COT index, the COT move index. We have the long-term trend indicator. And we also have a very useful volume and open interest analysis as well. Now, going back to the main page, let me just show you something, because in these COT reviews, we're talking about, of course, the classic commitments of traders report. But I'd like to mention to you that we have a wonderful tool for those of you who trade in a shorter time frame. So this is called the ICOT intraday indicator, and as it says, we reverse engineered COT data and created our unique intraday indicator. So I'd like to emphasize, this is not data coming from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. We constructed this data after many years of research and back testing, but we came up with this indicator and we really love it. We have some very useful examples on our website, videos. So if you're someone who trades in a shorter time frame, then please check it out and let us know if you've had any questions or remarks. I'd appreciate that as well. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you next time. Bye.